we can directly link it to an experience that we've had in the past and how we've observed, almost like as if we're observing our own life. We can observe where the patterns show up, right? And so sometimes we're like, well, what is the root cause of that? What is the root cause of that? Sometimes shifting into just purely creation energy and like the fun parts of money and the fun parts of our financial reality, shifting into that as much as we can is what kind of like loosens that up. And then that awareness ends up coming later. But sometimes we can we're trying to force healing to happen when in regards to like our previous situations with money, right? Times that you were wronged, times that money was stolen from you, or inadvertently stolen from you, like you made a bad investment into something, right? You spent money and it didn't come back. And these are very common things that people just kind of hold with them, almost like a fanny pack. Like, I got this I got this baggage right here. You know what I mean? And again, I'm laughing, like, not to minimize it, but because sometimes it's like kind of funny to picture it that way. Like, look at all my baggage. It's right on this little fanny pack here. And like when we just kind of say like, actually, I don't want to carry the fanny pack today. Like, no, we're taking a break from that. And just like, oh, then and this is why I talked about my Facebook Live. Now I'm oriented to reality, not from an accumulation of all of my past decisions and carrying that weight with me. Now I'm oriented to reality with all of this future potential that's out there, right? All of the future timelines that are out there, because the past isn't like super relevant in like determining my future timeline. Whew. So, when we have financial stress, like flipping back into that creation energy, flipping back into our desire, and ultimately moving from desire with money rather than moving from needs and obligations with money, right? Move from that desire of what would feel cool, what would feel expansive, and play in that as much as possible. And if you don't have the money to play with money right now, then still be in that creation energy as much as you can, right? Because essentially you're like tricking your subconscious into thinking this is a real experience. Your brain thinks it's a real experience. So, like going back to like energy and stuff like that, like your brain thinks it's a real experience. So it's not like put on a pedestal. So when you're orienting yourself to what is possible in your life, just more things are possible because you actually like took all of those things off of a pedestal, right? So, and that's something else that when you carry a persistent or a repeating, when you carry a repeating habit of financial stress and money stress, and you often find yourself in a cyclical situation where you have a lot of money and then you don't. You have a lot of money and then you don't. And then you feel like, when am I going to be able to break this cycle? Sometimes it's because like you actually aren't, it ties into like self-worth around allowing yourself to be financially comfortable, like thinking that you deserve it. You deserve to feel financially comfortable. Right? And then that is like a foreign thing, maybe because of something you observed. You saw someone else that didn't feel worthy of feeling financially comfortable, or you're not feeling capable of it, or all of those kind of things. It's weird when we first think about it, we're like, oh no, I definitely think I'm like worthy of that, right? But then when we like drop in a little bit and we're like, oh, is this like, I really deep down don't feel like I'm worthy. Like maybe on the surface I feel like I'm worthy, right? So you're worthy of feeling financially comfortable.